Bless you. Thank you for putting me online.
It's good to have you on the program. Well, the conversation today is on these calls for more zones. Now, I understand that the South is at the helm of this conversation, but making this push for an additional state, I want you to bring us up to speed. Is it about the growth conversation, the balance conversation, or there's something else underneath that we do not know of? What is the background story for these calls at this time, considering your stakes?
It's very necessary at this time. I think maybe you are aware that we were in a region. We were in 3 regions in Nigerian states, later 4 regions, later 12 states. Now I think we are about 36 or 35 states. I don't know how many, but I know that with your program, you understand that we have extra states. So nothing stopped the region calling for more zones. I think these zones were created during the Constituency Assembly. 6 zones were demarcated in the Nigerian state. We were demarcated into 6 zones. So if we are requesting for more zones, maybe it's because of the population increase and the demands of the contemporary realities request for that. The quest for more zone is very necessary in as much as there is a right of people for more demand for more equity and justice in the Nigerian state. I think there is nothing than justice and equity.
All right.
Fair hearing to everybody, a fair feeling and appropriation of our God-given resources and needs. And the desire for more zones is for equity and justice. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Dengue. Well, let's go to the very background and remind us that, of course, the Northwest has 7 states, North Central 6 states plus the FCT, Northeast 6, Southwest 6. We also have Southeast 5 and South 6. That's to show that the Northern region has about 19 states, while the Southern would talk about 17 states. Now, is the call about most states or another zone to be created out of the new states that would be added to it?
Background, I've earlier mentioned that the state creation is a continuous one because there is no monopoly about state creation and there will be no monopoly about zone. And if we are creating more states, we must also look at the zoning system. Is the zoning system ideal? Some people talk about regionalism. Is the regionalism ideal? These are the school of thought. So if we move into how can a state have 44 local governments and another state is having 8 local governments? Is there justice and equity? There are some people that is having 15 local governments. There are people having 30 local governments. In the same country where this population is shared amongst the people that we don't know the actual population. So we need to do statistics and figurative. And thereby, we see that we are even more populated in the South. So if we have been more populated in the South, why that denial of 19 versus 16 or 17? I think from your own indication, if we are saying South and North, South should have the equal number of states and the North should have equal number of states. So there should be equity. Equity and justice always give room for peace and peaceful negotiation. So I want to say that whatever the divide they talk about, there is no justice, there is no equity, call for more demand and more quest for the issues like this. So for me, it is natural that in as much as we continue to agitate for good democracy and rule of law and justice, then we must request for the issues that is keeping us alive. These issues are man desire, man expansion, man advancement, So the advancement of the Nigerian state requests that the people in the Nigerian state, the indigenous people in the Nigerian state, need to adjust, need to advance, need to move forward in policy and in development. If policy and development is the hallmark of the people, why the demarcation about certain people denied of their right to be president of Nigerian state? By God-given opportunity, the South God Jonathan is not, since after the Civil War, why is the fear that the Southeast cannot rule the Nigerian state? Why is that fear? So the issue is about developmental matters concerning environmental justice. The denial of the South people is equal to these issues I've mentioned. So we must move in concurrent realities. So let us be the same persons. If we want to have a good Nigerian state, we must move in concurrent relation to the contemporary issues. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Nengi James. Well, reputable organizations like PANDEF have spoken about this elaborately, and they have hinged their reasons on equitable distribution of the wealth in the country, and of course, appointments and all of that. But then let's talk about how this cuts across the issue of politics. Does this have a direct link to the political situation in the country? And is there a solution to it? Let's say this vision for most states were to be realized.
Yeah, definitely. Even the economic situation also calls for justice. There must be economic justice. There must be political justice. So if the politics and the economy of the people, the economy of the people demand such issues, it has to be properly resolved, because we need to discuss these issues concurrently. Because you even talking now, know that there is cheating. They have cheated us continually. The white people came in connivance, in conspiracy, cheated us, and that cheating is still going on. Until that cheating is addressed, that injustice is addressed, nothing will go further better in the Nigerian state. There must be continual agitation. No matter how you oppress, intimidate, suppress, and anyhow undermine the people, people must agitate for the rights of our people. So nothing will stop that. The political situation, the political gambling, the political scavengers, the political permutation that is going on definitely will affect the request of such things in our political climate. So if the climate is not, even for me, there is climate injustice, the climate change. So if there is climate change in the entire world, we should change the political scenario and the political change in Nigeria. We must move forward. And if we must move forward, issues that the Nigerian question, the people's question, the South question must be addressed. If you don't address it properly, there will be no proper movement. Let's forget about individualistic politicians. Let's talk about the issues about who is who in Nigeria. Look, since I was a young boy, I've been hearing the name of the same people replicating themselves in the Nigerian state. Are you happy with that? Now the same people coalition, the same people PDP, the same people APC, and their children are even adult to be governors and chairmen and president of this country. Are they the only people in this country? Why are we still talking about 1999 Constitution? What is the review about? Only no-go areas. It is the no-go areas of the Constitution that is the problematic and challenging factor in the Nigerian polity. Have they talking about the proper electoral reform? They are not interested. They are only interested on what will favor them. If it doesn't favor them, those areas will be changed. Look at people asking for immunity. Why we are even questioning the immunity of the criminal immunity of our presidents and governors, House of Reps and House of Assembly, then they will even want to kill everybody in the country. and take over their immunity to destroy. They have destroyed the institutions, they have destroyed the youths, they have destroyed the industries. Now they are destroying the primary schools students. So that is the situation. They continue to destroy the country in the way they want to move forward. So
all right, Dr. Nengi. Well, you've worked closely with rural leaders, the traditional leaders, and of course, you must have had their pulse regarding this push for most states. I'd like you to bring us up to speed with some of the background information you have regarding how committed they are to this push for most states and a zone. And then, do you think that this is a top-down approach that is only pushed by the elites in the society that's in the Niger Delta region, or is this holistically grounded even to the grassroots?
Thank you for that. That is why I'm talking vividly. I am talking as somebody that understands the Nigerian polity. I'm talking because I was school tutored and mentored by Dapaprie and Ike Clark. They are my they are my fathers. I served them for about 15 years as their youth leader, and both of them are late. Nobody is a monopoly of anything. We can all stand up to do what we want to do, but that does not mean that we should not be negotiating and understanding ourselves. Do not take us for granted. So the people that are saying this are saying it because we believe that the grassroots people, communitization policy, the people, the indigenous people in our communities are not feeling the impact of democracy. Some of them do not know what is even democracy. And when the elites have overtaken the Nigerian state for granted and using the style of the Europeanic and Western countries in ruling us, that is divide and conquer and divide and rule. That is what the people are trying to resist. Nothing comes free in the South. Nothing comes free in the Niger Delta. So we must agitate and we must resist the pressure that is coming, that these people are taking our life for granted. So this resistance is a community-based approach. It's the people's resistance. The people, the indigenous people in the Nigerian state that has been properly cheated, have been properly denied in political, economically, and they are not happy. So any move you are saying should be a people's movement. Forget, there will be distractions. There will be people that are paid and lured, and there are people that will be used. But the generality of Nigerians believe that there must be a positive change, not the change that they are talking about politically. We are talking about positive change that will change the lifestyle and the livelihood of Nigerians and their environment. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Nengi James. Well, I'd like you to tell us what you have observed from your monitoring assessments in terms of talking about the different monitorings that you have embarked upon. What have you observed are the structural deficits of the 6-state structure that is currently being operated in the South-South? What has this deprived the South-South? Just so that the benefit of the viewers, they would understand what truly are at stake and the real cause for this new state. How is it going to benefit the South-South if it were to see the light of day?
Thank you. If the South-South is properly united, a force in the Nigerian state, the South-South has something called Brace Commission. And the Brace Commission should have been, was introduced for a better movement for the governors and their elders and youths and women as a front to have used it to boost the economy and polity of the Nigerian South-South. But the South-South itself, yes, we have some challenges about not getting ourselves right, not being too organized. But I think that will never distract the situation because we have the ethnic groups in the South-South working together with other clients, other areas. So the South-South we should have is the hub of the Nigerian state economy. We control the economy. And if we are in one voice, definitely the entire country will definitely bow to us. However, the entire process is that some persons in the South who feel that they are more bigger than even a state. For instance, when a politician is richer than his own state, what do you expect? I think these are some of the challenges. But by the grace of God, the South is working hard to see that we overcome these people that are like parasites and the criminal tendencies that are being used to infiltrate into the South. I think we are working hard to have one voice. So if we have one voice, definitely as hub of the country, the crude oil and gas environment, we need to have been better than any of the zone. But instead of the oil to be our own good, I think they are creating certain, even those who have the oil don't benefit from it. And it's a deliberate act so that to put us perpetually in the bondage and in the poverty situation so that they will continue to milk the economy. So it's now left for us to have one voice. That is why I am so worried that my Ike Clark and my Dapa Pray is gone. Most of us now, that their students, their scholars are working hard to see that we maintain that tempo. But as far as generals are gone, there will be other generals. So the South is working hard, but because of this neo-colonialism policy, the cliqueism, and the infiltration of clandestine affairs in our environment from the other angle of the country is now tempering with our unity. But God being with us, the South will get it back.
All right, Dr. Nengi James. A new state, you would agree, means a new capital, new ministries, new infrastructure put in place. Considering the economic situation currently in the country and specifically in the Niger Delta region, if you may, is the region truly ready to bear the cost that would amount?
With new states and new environment, definitely people will look inward. There is no economy that is bad. In Malaysia, they don't have anything. In some areas you will visit, they don't have anything. But as far as I'm concerned, we need to diversify our economy from the oil and gas method.
But are the states that we have already on ground even doing that? I mean, that is a conversation we're having, Dr. Nengi. Most of the states that we're having, they're not looking internally and they're not generating anything.
Operation will now move people out of the thinking, the critical thinking that we must have innovation, we must be creative, we must have alternative affairs before oil and gas or after oil and gas. So creation also creates opportunity for more innovative ideas. So if there is creation, today Bayelsa, River State born Bayelsa, and by the grace of God, as I'm talking to you, for years I have never been moving with a motor to my place. But today I can drive to my 1 hour from Yenagoa. I'm in my town. And we are moving towards the Atlantic. We are kicking into the Atlantic through Brass and through Agi. And if we move into the Atlantic, nothing stops us. The world is open to the people in the South. The Ibino people are moving to the Atlantic. Akwa Ibom. Bayelsa is moving. River State is moving to Bonny. The road is already hitting Bonny. So by the time we move forward, we need to create, establish owner environment and communities that will now take over from these old cities. I think it's an expansion, it's an advancement, and will give us more opportunity for the young ones to take over by the grace of God. The women, our children, will notice that, yes, we are improved from former. We were moving from Port Harcourt about 3 hours drive by speedboat to our areas. But today I'm talking to you, the entire Kalabare land, you can almost move with car, apart from few communities. The entire Kalabare Brass area, you are now moving with vehicle. The area of Ekeremo down to Delta State and Bomadi, those days we were agitating as young youths in Kayama Declaration. I was one of the co-founders of the Joy Youth Council. I'm now in INC, Joy National Congress, as vice president as I'm talking to you. We move from creeks to creeks, river to river, sea to sea. But as I'm talking to you, most of these communities are now by road. So we are even by air now in Bayelsa State. So what, at least, creation gives us opportunity of getting things right. It's never been a disadvantage, it's an advantage.
All right, Nengi. Well, let's tackle the issue of ethnic tensions and rivalries, intra-ethnic or regional tensions that may arise from this. Now, the fears are real that these new states may cause some sort of rift that may go even deep. You would recall that there are some states that are still suffering from boundary issues and how to resolve that. Do you think that we can get that right, resolve that effectively from day one to avoid conflicts of such nature?
Yes, issues do not stop development. While those issues are being addressed, the place is calm and very peaceful. I tell you, I think just yesterday or before yesterday, you had 50 people killed again. You have 200 people killed. You have 8 persons killed as vigilante. Are you hearing that from the South? No, let the sleeping dog sleep well. Because these issues they are mentioning are things that happen even in the industrialized area, in the developed country. Issues, as you create states or local government, there will be issues. And when those issues arise, there will be solution to it. So let us reach the bridge, and we will know how to cross it, either by air, by car, or by canoe. Thank you.
Okay, tapping from your experience, your grassroots experience now, what would you say are those things that must be got right from day one to see to it that we avoid some of the issues that are already currently inherent in the states of the Federation? You talk about corruption, bureaucracies, and inability to bring about the level of development that are hoped to be seen in such states. I mean, that is the cardinal message. These states are supposed to come in to expand the developmental reach in the region. How can we tackle that from day one?
Our community leaders. You cannot get it right when the community institutions are not giving proper attention. Every other man you are mentioning, even the president of this country, Tinubu, he came from a community. At the end of the day, we all will be taken, except accidental, and we don't pray for that. You will be taken, your body will be taken to your community. So why are we neglecting the communitization policy? The community people are not aware of the budget. You want to bring project to my place, and I'm not part of the discussion. You are budgeting for something. I need electricity. You are bringing market. Market is already there. So these are the things from the budgeting level of Nigerian state and our community. We already have problems because nobody sees the budget. Anything they like, they start doing it. 2, our community leaders need to be recognized. The traditional institution need to be in the constitution. They give them a role like the 1979 constitution. If they don't have a role and one of their sons becomes chairman, he moves with 10 policemen, and at the end of the tenure, all those policemen will leave them. And they became so arrogant and pompous and taking pride with overtaking him. So these are issues. You address the issue from bottom top, and immediately Nigerian state address issues from top bottom. And that is the problem. And when you have a security problem, the security problem is coming from the top, not from the bottom. The people at the community, they are living well. But it's these politicians that now go home and begin to terrorize them with the same police that we are paying with our taxpayers' money and using them as even snappers. So most of these things you are experiencing from our country is the same our big people, the bourgeoisies, and those that think that they have got it right through corruption. So if we can fight corruption, we can carry this situation, the people in the community. The development should start from the community level. You want to, concurrently, you can start from community and how you are developing a place. You're only taking road to a speaker's house. You're only taking road to the president of Senate. For instance, I have been attending zonal meetings and zonal presentation in Port Harcourt and elsewhere. This zonal presentation of Senate, the Senate president took it to Ikorekpene, and nobody talks because Ikorekpene is not a city-state. It should have been Uyo, but they felt that because he's the president, he wants his people to know that he's the president. He wants to also expand his people to understand that he's the Senate president, that they should feel the process of Senate hearing. So the public hearing was hard, and that will go a long way to also inform you the need for creation and establishment of such things. It now favors Ikorekpene. Ikorekpene Road for the past 10 years was not even crossable. But today, the Senate president has made it possible through the Aba line and through the U line. Okay. That has to do with development. So that is the scenario we are talking about, taking our development back to the grassroots, because the local government are not functioning. Even the autonomy that was given to them by the same Supreme Court is not obeyed. Rule of law is never obeyed in Nigeria. So it's just like how many times have they released Kano, and the Nigerian state still keep him there.
All right, Dr. Nengi. Well, let's talk now as we begin to wind down the conversation concerning... Can you hear me, Dr. Nengi? Hello, Dr. Nengi, if you can hear me, I want us to wrap up the conversation by talking about some of the constitutional complexities when you talk about creation of states. Do you think that the South-South region has the political will, and would you say the national buy-in that would lead to the success of these clamors?
You cannot establish
Dr. Nengi,
a state police. You cannot establish
Dr. Nengi,
police.
Can you hear me? Dr. Nengi, if you can hear me now.
And to the traditional institutions there to have a constitutional role. The king is not being protected by policemen, but the subjects are protected by policemen.
All right, Dr. Nengi.
The king, when there is election, you will not.
Dr. Nengi, can you hear me, please?
That is why there is infiltration, political infiltration of our community system. Traditional institution is different from political voting. Now, the governor or the president can influence the removal of a traditional ruler, and that was the beginning of democracy.
Dr. Nengi.
To be participatory. From my place, there must be a blue blood. You must be from a royal family. You cannot just come and become a king. And if the people say, no, you are not from the royal family, we cannot take you. Because in his government position, government now will put his name and give him certificate of recognition. But be that as it may, in some areas it doesn't work, like my place. Even if you don't give us certificate of recognition, if the people said you are our king, you are king forever. Your certificate is just for your own care, because a king must take care of himself. It's those that now being lured.
All right, Dr. Nengi, if you can hear me, I would like us to round up the conversation. I was hoping that you could get to hear me so I could chip in the last question concerning the constitutional complexities regarding the issue of state creation. But then I must thank you very specially for coming on Niger Delta today and proffering your thoughts on the issue. It will be interesting what would be happening the coming days and months and years, of course, regarding this issue and the steps that will be taken by the legislature towards ensuring that it brings these issues that are being clamored for in the region to a fruition. Thank you very much, Dr. Nengi James, National Coordinator, Association of Rural Chiefs for Peace and Development. National Coordinator, Niger Delta Development Monitoring Group, for coming on Niger Delta today. We appreciate your views on the program. And to you, the viewer, thank you very much for staying tuned on the program. We'll bring you another fresh edition of the program, Niger Delta Today. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific afternoon. Bye for now.